9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
It's the SFL Nights it's the SFL Nights with A.J.Striker, with A.J.Striker. It's the SFL Nights it's the SFL Nights with A.J.Striker, with A.J.Striker. Ashley Jackson about the action. SFL news, come and join with interaction. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah, you will leave with satisfaction. Yeah, tell your team and tell your captain. Come and tune in, new episodes weekly.
What's up, SFL Nation? Welcome back to SFL Nights with A.J.Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. Really appreciate it, y'all. And I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, my esteemed co-host that apparently is a picture today again, but for understandable reasons, T-Roy Games. How are you?
I'm doing good. Knee got re-aggravated 2 days ago after using the treadmill 7 days in a row, 20 minutes per time, trying to, work on my health, but also injure myself in the process. But I'll be fine, hopefully, by tomorrow so I can get back and working out again.
I mean, I commend you, and I admire the fact that you're going ahead and do, being a man of your word and saying that, going to exercise and do that. But, bro, you can't start off 7 days. You got to ease your way into it, like 4 days, maybe. Maybe 5.
And go hardcore again. Stay healthy.
Okay. Tell your knee that.
That's what I am. I'm telling him I need that right now. Going hardcore.
Oh man. Well, welcome back, man. Welcome back to the show. I missed you last week.
Thank you.
Yeah. But everybody, great show tonight. Some fantastic interviews. First of all, we're going to go over week 11. Great games. It's coming down to the wire now. And this is for all the marbles coming up very soon. So got week 11. Then we're going to do our pick'ems for week 12. I also have, of course, Striker Nights trivia. Well, I will be revealing who won the last trivia challenge and introducing the new questions. And then I will have brief look at our playoff outlook as it stands as of right now. Then T-Roy and I are going to go over that a little bit. And then I have my 4th and goal interviews that will feature Mr. Greg Soto and Mr. Kye Ethan with me tonight. So it's going to be an action-packed show. Looking forward to bringing everybody on and getting their thoughts and opinions about playoffs as well as a whole expansion teams, all of that. So, T-Roy, speaking of expansion teams, how excited are you that we actually got the 90-plus players that we needed to get a few more teams?
It's been good. It's love to see the league continue to grow in various ways. You'll be talking about another potential growth, I'm assuming, later on in this podcast that was announced today. I know this is aired on a different day, but there was a huge announcement made today, which is Tuesday, March the 29th. Very, very great sign of growth for those who've been in this league for a long time. I think it's going to be it's very exciting, and can't wait to see how the new teams for expansion. I think it's just team expansion, not roster expansion. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, so can't wait to see what the new potential teams will be. And I know that a lot of players in the SFLM going to be very excited after this season, after their season, because they going to most likely get picked up.
Indeed. Fun times, man. And it's a great thing to hear your name called. I promise you, that's an unforgettable moment. But on to week 11. So now, as I told you, it's great games. First game, though, was on the 26th. The Arizona Scorpions taking on the London Knights in Queensway, where London won 23-13. Arizona had 261 yards passing with only 27 yards rushing for 288. Total yards. Time of possession was 19 minutes and 30 seconds with 2 mistakes, while London had 327 yards passing, 103 yards rushing for 430 yards total. Time of possession was 24 minutes, 30 seconds with 1 mistake. Man, made less mistakes, was able to get more points on the board. And they held the ball longer. So they did their thing. Congratulations, y'all. The St. Louis Gladiators took on the Jacksonville Kings in Kings Lair, where Jacksonville won 31-17. St. Louis had 373 yards passing, 63 yards rushing for 436 yards total. Their time of possession was 20 minutes, 56 seconds with 8 turnovers. 8? Jacksonville had 415 yards passing, 13 yards rushing though, but 428 yards total. Their time of possession was 22 minutes, 7 seconds with 5 mistakes.
Before you move on, the start of that game was very defensive oriented. Those who may have watched it was, unfortunately for both offenses of their respective teams, 5 straight turnovers. I believe it's 5 straight interceptions thrown by both quarterbacks before the first touchdown was made. But Jacksonville was able to, right the ship and be able to get that win. But man, that was if you love defense, you definitely love how the first quarter of that game started.
Oh man, it sounds exciting. I came in on the tail end of that one, but that means that was like a tennis match right there, just back and forth. I love it. The Vancouver Legion took on the Los Angeles Vikings, where Vancouver won 1 point, 21-20, in Full Moon Coliseum. Vancouver had 302 yards passing, 63 yards rushing for 365 yards total. Their time of possession was 22 minutes, 7 seconds with 1 turnover. LA had 249 yards passing, 166 yards rushing for 415 yards total. Their time of possession was 21 minutes, 1 second, 2 turnovers. Also on the 26th, the Carolina Skyhawks took on the Atlanta Swarm, where Skyhawks won in the high 40-37. Very close game too. Carolina had 434 yards passing, 47 yards rushing for 481 yards total. Their time of possession was 29 minutes, 39 seconds, 5 turnovers. Atlanta had 186 yards passing, 51 yards rushing for 237 yards total. Time of possession was only 13 minutes, 48 seconds with 4 turnovers. Wow. Tulsa Desperados took on the Florida Storm in the I, and Florida won in a big way, 48-17. Tulsa had 327 yards passing, 44 yards rushing for 371 yards total. Their time of possession was 16 minutes, 10 seconds, 4 mistakes. Florida had 346 yards passing, 272 yards rushing for a whopping 618 yards in total offense. Time of possession was 21 minutes, 50 seconds, 2 mistakes. Very impressive. Also on the 26th, the San Diego Mavericks took on the Houston Hyenas in Hyena Den Park, where Houston won 43-21. San Diego had 249 yards passing, only 66 yards rushing for 315 yards total. Their time of possession was 18 minutes, 14 seconds with 3 turnovers. Houston had 299 yards passing, 127 yards rushing for 426 yards total. Time of possession was 25 minutes, 11 seconds with 3 turnovers. On the 27th, the Las Vegas Fury took on the Baltimore Vultures, T-Roy's Baltimore Vultures, I should say, in Sports Gamers Online Stadium, and Baltimore won 28-17. Las Vegas had 262 yards passing, 129 yards rushing for 391 yards total. Their time of possession was 23 minutes, 29 seconds, 2 turnovers. Baltimore had 205 yards passing, 175 yards rushing for 380 yards total. Time of possession was only 19 minutes and 48 seconds, with also 2 mistakes. Queen City took on the Sioux Falls Sparrows. at Liberty Park, where Sioux Falls won 41-17. Queen City had 224 yards passing, 124 yards rushing for 348 yards total. Time of possession was 24 minutes and 3 seconds with 4 turnovers. Sioux Falls had 241 yards passing, 131 yards rushing for 372 yards total. Time of possession was 19 minutes, 57 seconds. No mistakes. And I do believe Sioux Falls was the only team that actually had a clean game, no mistakes. So kudos to you guys for that. Last game of the night was, well, actually on Monday night, community cast, where Cam had a few of the community members watch the game as it happened. Awesome to see their reactions in real time. The Fort Worth Toros took on the Lone Star Glory, where Lone Star won 30-24 at Medal of Honor Field. Fort Worth had 182 yards passing, 20 yards rushing for 202 yards total. Their time of possession was 11 minutes, 29 seconds with 3 turnovers. Lone Star had 432 yards passing, 82 yards rushing for 514 yards total. Time of possession, 32 minutes, 24 seconds, 4 turnovers. So, a lot of close games. There was a lot of games where clearly one team was more dominant in all facets of the game. And T-Roy, would you like to explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I will bring attention to at least 3 games that took place this weekend that actually caught my eye. We'll start off with the one that happened on Monday night, Lone Star versus Fort Worth, with Lone Star getting the win. And Fort Worth started off strong. They had 2 TDs on defense, a pick 6, and a fumble recovery taken to the house, and then a rushing touchdown from Jason Williams in the first half. But unfortunately for the Toros, their offense just struggled to score. Struggled for the rest of the game. They only scored a field goal in the second half. So Lone Star defense was able to bend but not break. It was able to cause a lot of turnovers, and that gave their offense the opportunity to come back from behind to win the game. And you can almost say the same thing. Actually, you can say this exact same thing for the Carolina-Atlanta game. Carolina won it 40-37. Atlanta got off on a great start that game. They scored 37 points, all of their 37 points in the first half, but unfortunately their offense struggled in the second half mightily. Did not score at all, and I believe didn't even get a first down in the second half. So the defense of the Skyhawks made the necessary adjustments and did the same thing that basically Lone Star did, get enough turnovers, and that allowed Matt South and the Carolina offense to basically outlast the Storm in that game. And the final game we're going to talk about is Vancouver versus Los Angeles, and looks like both defenses, came to play that game. You figure, Vancouver is one of the teams that like to, score to 40 points or more, and Los Angeles defense came to play. Vancouver's defense is nothing to joke about, only giving up 6 points in the second half after giving up 14 in the first half. And their offense did more than enough to get the win. And those who may watch the game, there was a controversial ending on that one, because everybody's probably wondering why LA didn't go for the field goal when they were in field goal range at the end. They was driving to score the winning points, and they were in field goal range definitely, but they decided to go for one more play and got picked off, and that iced the game for the Vancouver defense as they get their 9th win of the season. In all these games, the 3 games I talked about, the winning team's defense was able to make the necessary adjustments in the second half after struggling in the first half to get the win for their respective teams. And I want to give shout outs to the running backs, because I did this last time I was on the show. I want to give a shout out to the 100-yard rushers. So we shout out to Robert Merrow. He had 108 yards rushing with 1 TD in the win against Arizona. Robert Johnson had 166 yards rushing, including a 76-yard touchdown run at the end of the first half in the loss against Vancouver. Charlie Bolesky had 236 yards rushing, 3 TDs in the win against Tulsa. Brad Jones, 118 yards rushing, 2 TDs in the win against San Diego. In the Baltimore Vegas game, both running backs had over 100 yards rushing. Warren Murray for my team, Baltimore, ran for 159 yards rushing with 3 TDs in the win, while Scott Johnson for Vegas had 129 yards rushing. Jet Zero had 166 yards rushing in the loss against Sioux Falls, and GP Wells in that same game also had 100 yards rushing, 129, the 3 TDs in the win. So there's at least 2 games, the Baltimore and Vegas game and the Queen City Sioux Falls game, where both running backs was able to go over 100 yards. You know me as a running back fan, I would love that. Love to see it. So that's my summary for week 11.
Hey, great job. And of course, you gotta give a shout out to the running backs. You were one of the best that ever do it. So things changed and you had to switch over. But
one of the best. Gotta let others decide on that one. I can't have a big head, hype my head on that one. So I gotta let everybody else to decide. But I definitely have a fun time here in the SFL up to this point.
Listen, when I came in season 12, all I heard was BDG Hollywood, T-Roy Games. Then it was T-Roy. Then it was, after the change was made and then, they kind of nerfed that whole thing. You had to switch over. Then, it kind of shifted back to BDG and, everybody else. But I know for a long time, teams had a very hard time preparing for you, preparing for Colin Hart, preparing for BDG Hollywood. Like y'all were the reigning ones. So it's crazy. But speaking of reigning, we have our MVPs for this week, and they are as follows. London quarterback Johnny Pickler had 32 completions out of 40 attempts, 327 yards, 1 touchdown, and a quarterback rating of 98.6. And Johnny, I am still waiting for you to come back on my show like you said you would. Still waiting. Whole season later. Vancouver's Tom Pepper, quarterback, had 27 completions out of 36 attempts, 302 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 106.5. Houston's wide receiver, D.R. Sin, 5 receptions, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 25.2 yards per catch. Carolina's quarterback, Matt South, with 41 completions, 54 attempts, 434 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 92.7. Florida's running back, Charlie Boletsky, and you've mentioned a few of these, T-Roy, so it's going to be kind of like, me just reiterating things. Charlie Boletsky with 23 attempts, 236 yards, 3 touchdowns, 53 reception yards. For Jacksonville Kings, wide receiver Kingston Ellington, 9 receptions, 212 yards, 1 touchdown, and had 23.6 yards per catch. Sioux Falls, G.P. Wells had 18 attempts, 129 yards, 3 touchdowns, 26 reception yards. Baltimore's running back, Warren Murray. Still strange to see Warren Murray over there. I'm so used to associating him with Houston. Like, it's crazy. But 17 attempts, 159 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 15 reception yards. And lastly, Lone Star Glory's quarterback, Ace Finnick, 46 completions out of 59 attempts, 432 yards, 1 touchdown, and a quarterback rating, 88.7. So the winner of last week's trivia question was, person that got it in fastest and right was Coach Senior Eddie Gage. And you're making a lot of money, bro. Like, you answering all these questions, man. Like, saving it for. Got his whole house painted. He's probably using some of that money to help paint that house. I know.
What was the question since I missed last week?
Last week, it was one question. Who participated in the Monday night game? Who were the coaches that were on that call?
Okay, yeah, was that St. Louis in Florida?
Yes.
Right. Okay, cool,
yes.
cool.
So it's actually going to be something similar to that this week. Now, I have 2 questions, of course, but One of them I'm not sure people are going to get, and they should.
Make them earn the gift this week.
Earn the gift, right? Okay. So first trivia question for week 12 will be, can you name 4 players that participated in the community cast on Monday night during the Fort Worth Lone Star game? All I need you to do is just name 4 people that you saw on screen. Okay. Second question is, which SFLM team won the championship one season and then was gone the next season, only to be reinstated this season? So, I'm sure people that were on that team are gonna know who that was, obviously. But it's just whether you're paying attention, if you even watch that Monday night game, you know what I mean? So it's crazy because you're gonna have to know both of them to get the prize, and you're gonna have to answer as quickly as possible. You can answer in the live chat right now, or you can answer in my Discord server where my mods will let me know who came in first, and you will be receiving your gift. If not that night, at least a couple days later. Okay. So again, the question was, can you name 4 players that participated in the community cast on Monday night during the Fort Worth and Lone Star game? And which SFLM team won championships one season, then was gone the next, only to be reinstated this season? So good luck, y'all. Now we're going to switch things up just a tad, and I'm going to give you the playoff outlook. And T-Roy, I want your opinion about this, okay? See if there's anybody that you think should be in these places, or if you can see some of these moving around a little bit. All right. So, of course, first place would be the Baltimore Vultures, 9-0, followed by Vancouver, 9-1, followed by Louisiana, 7-2, and Jacksonville, 6-3. Then we have DC sitting at 6-3, Sioux Falls sitting at 6-4, Lone Star at 6-4. Then we go down to Charleston at 5-4, Mexico City 5-4. Actually, Houston and Florida are all sitting at 5-4. Then we have London sitting even at 5-5, as well as Tulsa. So, what do you think about this current lineup? Do you think that this is going to hold true to the playoffs? Do you think that this is going to be changing up a little bit?
Well, that's going to be a difficult question because, of course, part of what I don't do is talk about my team because I'm a jinx when I do that. So in terms of, sign positive or, if ever I talk trash, bad things happen. So I always keep my opinions about how we're doing close to the best. Vancouver's been playing lights out. Louisiana's defense is one of the best in the league, and Jacksonville finally got off that hump of what they've been experiencing throughout the season, where they win one, lose one, win one, lose one. They finally won 2 in a row with their win over St. Louis this past weekend. DC is always a scary team. That's going to be another great test for us. I mean, every game for Baltimore has been a great test, and DC is going to bring it to us, so we better be ready for that game. Sioux Falls, they seem like they are returning to the Sioux Falls of old. Back when they had Colin Hart and Jalen Wells. Now they got GP Wells, who's basically been lighting it up all season. Could be a Rookie of the Year nomination for him, or at least Offensive Rookie of the Year if we have that. Lone Star, winning the games like they supposed to, playing, lights out defense, causing turnovers. They're at one of the scary teams to take on. Charleston currently has the common win advantage over Mexico City, so they're on top of the like a four-way tie for the eighth spot, where all 4 teams actually have the same record of 5-4. So Charleston leads that group, so they got keep on winning, so they'll stay on top of Mexico City, Houston, and Florida are teams you don't want to sleep on. London, another scary team. Looks like they can find their balance. They normally are known for a passing attack, but Robert Merrill's been kicking butt as a ball carrier more often than a receiver out of the backfield. So that's great to see that. And Tulsa in the hunt for that last spot, so they got to pull off some close, really hardly contested matchups coming up soon for them. I think they're on a bye right now, if I'm not mistaken, for this week coming up. But Tulsa's right up in there, so this playoff race is very exciting, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. And we'll start. This actually starts off, next week or this week coming up.
Yes, it does. And as far as any movement, thinking the first 4 spots are pretty much locked up. I'm thinking also like right around middle tier. I think there will be some shifts in that, and it is kind of hard to say who is going to replace, because this particular season has been so competitive. You can think that things are going to go one way, and then it can just go far left, so I think, just for the sake of making my point, the first 4 pretty much solidified. I think everybody else is up for grabs, because any given sim day, you can take that L and it could spell you being out of the playoff contention. So good luck to everybody. No pressure. But before I move on to week 12, got some announcements that came down Discord. Now, if you want to see all of this information, please join our Discord. I will leave that link in the description. You can also join our Discord by visiting our website at www.simulationfl.net, where you can find league articles, content creator links. If you want to get more information about the league, how to create your character, or your player, I should say, even join the Discord from there, call the commissioner, all of that good stuff. It can be located right there. But in our Discord, our wonderful commissioner made a few announcements, one of which is that a week that you will remember in SFL history. The wait is over. He will be talking about releasing, I should say, news about the convention, expansion, new partners, and new networks that we will be joining. And most of the info will drop tomorrow, actually, later on this week. Now, some major announcements did drop as to where the convention will be, our annual SFL convention, and that will be in Las Vegas, Nevada, July 10th through the 12th. And it will kick off, that's kickoff weekend for season 19. The actual venue and hotel, I will actually be playing a little something so you can see what we're going to be doing. It's going to be some big things, all right? T-Roy, you going?
No. Right off the bat, no. July in the hotel industry in Cincinnati is a very, very important month, and unfortunately, it falls in the convention falls in July, so I won't be able to make it. But I have seen where the venue is going to be held. What they announced that the commissioner in May, and whoever is going to have an excellent time. I know that for sure. So if you guys are able to make it, you're in for a real treat. Just avoid going to that casino. That should be close by.
I heard those slots machines are worse. You will not find me there. I tell you what. But good stuff, man. Good stuff. And so again, more information is coming down the pipeline as far as the new networks that we're going to be joining, new partners, and even our expansion teams, because now we have 90 plus rookies in the server, which means expansion time. So I'm excited to see who's going to get a team, and where they're going to be and who's going to join, all that good stuff. It's going to be a lot of moving and shaking this season. I can guarantee you that.
See, what I'm still waiting for is the big announcement for me as a gamer is Cam saying that the league will have its own video game.
Oh,
I'm just waiting for that. Its own football video game. Once I'm here, I was like, yes. And hopefully I can be decent in the game.
Heck, me too. As long as I'm throwing out damn interceptions, I'm good.
Hey, I'll be able to control what I do on the field,
right.
Actually.
Exactly.
Which would be the ironic thing of all this.
Right. I mean, and who knows? Maybe some blessings may come down the pipeline and he'll be able to get what he needs a little bit sooner than, what it was planned for. So that would be dope, though. I would love to see that. But T-Roy, let's quickly go over week 12 action that will be coming up. So on April the 2nd, the Atlanta Swarm will be taking on the Florida Storm in the Eye at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Who you got, T-Roy?
Atlanta's hungry after that heartbreaking loss to Carolina, while Florida has found their offense after being shut out by Louisiana the prior week. They found their offensive groove this past weekend against Tulsa. Just make a long story short here. Florida's no joke. I think Atlanta is going to find their groove and pull off the upset on the road.
All right. You think Bryant Dynasty is going to do 1.5 hair flips on him?
I don't know about that, but I know it's going to be a close one. That's for sure. Atlanta is definitely hungry after how things turned out from last week.
Damn right. That they should be. It's hard to beat Florida at home.
Yes, it is.
I normally go for Atlanta, because they have all the weapons. I mean, they have a lot of good weapons. I mean, besides, of course, Baltimore. But I gotta go with Florida on this one. I just feel that when you're at home, especially Florida's home, they are very, very hard to beat. Defense normally clamps down much more so. So I think Florida's going to take this win. Don't get mad, Atlanta. I think that's what it's going to be. Denver Nightwings taking on Queen City at Con Pro Field. Who you got? At 3:00 p.m.
I'm going to go with Denver on this one. A little bit concerned for Queen City, how things have been for them recently. I'm going to go with Denver on this one. I'm feeling it'll be a Denver win on the road.
Okay. I think I agree with you on that one. I think Denver does have those pieces that can penetrate the Queen City's defense. And if Queen City is not careful, Riley Quintero, that's all you got to say. You better be careful with Riley. We know.
You also got to worry about Billy O'Shaughnessy and R.E. Mills, too.
Yes. So, yeah, I think Denver may be just a little bit too much for Queen City, but hey, we'll see. Houston Hyenas will be taking on the Mexico City Aztecs at 4:45 p.m. at Estadio Azteca. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is he was talking about earlier where movement in the playoff setting will happen by the end of this game between Mexico City and Houston. Mexico City currently has the advantage over Houston ranking wise. Very important game. It's at Mexico City. Mexico City's defense can definitely bring it. Houston's defense got forced turnovers. I think since it's at Mexico City, I think Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley is going to play a positive role in this game. I'm going to go with Mexico City on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Houston is going to fall short, maybe not by much. I know that Houston definitely can play Mexico City. They can take them to the pool.
Sure can.
But I think that Mexico City, especially being at home, is just going to give them that little edge that they're going to need to take it. San Diego, also on the second, San Diego Mavericks will be taking on the Portland Fleet at 5:15 p.m. in the Shipyard. Who you got?
Now, Portland still trying to get their first win. San Diego definitely been one of those teams that started off hot, but has been struggling as of late. Will Optimus Klein and his offense be able to do more than enough at Portland to get the W? Because Portland is going to treat every game as if it's going to be their championship game, so they can get off the hump, get off the schneid, because they don't want to go winless this season. I think San Diego is going to get a close one. This should be a close one, but I think the Mavericks will get the win on the road.
I do agree with you that it will be a close game, but I think that Portland is going to win their first game over the San Diego Mavericks by a field goal. And I don't know why, but normally you look at the grand scheme of things, how they've been playing and things like that. But today it's a gut feeling. So we're gonna see if my gut is right, and Portland, we're gonna see if y'all take home that win. At least get one in the books for you guys. Baltimore Vultures will be taking on the DC Dragons at Lord Destro Production Stadium at 7 p.m. Eastern on April 3rd. And that is going to be a fantastic game. You have coaches that are absolutely seasoned. They've been here forever. That are going against each other. I'm going to go with Baltimore on this one because you guys are riding high right now. You guys are on fire. You have so many weapons to prepare for, so many different ways to beat teams. It's actually scary. When I said you added Warren Murray, that was like, what? That's it. But DC is no joke either. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Baltimore, but they will not make it easy on you guys, T-Roy. You better go in there with the same faces.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think any team that we have faced is gonna take it easy on us.
No.
From early this season and then the rest of this season. We're only worrying about DC right now, and it's going to be a tough one, especially on the road at DC. So it should be a very close one. We're expecting it to be a close one, and we gotta be ready to face whatever adversity that comes our way when we face DC in order to get this win, because DC is going to bring it.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Last few games will include Louisiana Revolution taking on the Jacksonville Kings in Kings Lair, 7:20 p.m. Eastern. So, who you got, T-Roy?
The question is now, Jacksonville's at home.
Yes.
So there's obviously a home field advantage on this one. The problem with Jacksonville is there are times where turnovers do bite them, and we already You already read the stat line last week. They have 5, and that is at least 4 too many against Louisiana. If they commit 5 turnovers, Louisiana is going to walk out with the win. Their defense has been lights out. Mike Ryland, aka Tyler Falk, has gotten an interception, at least one interception every week. And I know Louisiana's definitely want that to continue, with that streak to continue in this game. It's hard because I want to pull for Louisiana. It's just their offense been struggling, but their defense has been doing more than enough, and the offense find ways to win. Jacksonville can be high powered, or they can unfortunately get hit with the turnover bug. I have a little bit more trust in Louisiana this week over Jacksonville.
I agree for that same reason, because I'm not sure which offense is going to come out for Jacksonville. If it's going to be that clean offense where I know Marcus, that Marcus can definitely give, then yeah. But you got a lot of ball hawks in Louisiana. You got a lot of people just ready for any mistake. And I think that if there are going to be some mistakes that's going to be made, Louisiana is going to capitalize off of them, thus winning the game. Not by much, but they will win this game. And that's going to be a surprise upset too. Charleston Predators taking on the St. Louis Gladiators at Gateway Coliseum at 9 p.m. Eastern. Who you got?
Just to speed things up, it should be a close one, but I'm going to go ahead with Charleston with my gut feeling on this one. I think Charleston, who's playoff hungry, want to get back in the playoffs after they was able to make it last season, I think will eventually get the win, but I think it should be a close one.
And I'm going to go with Charleston as well. St. Louis still, have those moments where they have those glimpses of brilliance, but sometimes, especially with a team like Charleston, if you do make those mistakes, they can't wait to capitalize off of them. So I think Charleston's going to take this. Last game is the Arizona Scorpions taking on the Las Vegas Fury at Silver State Stadium, 9:20 p.m. Eastern. Now, we did lose our first meeting with them by 1 point. I think it was 25-26, 26-27, something like that. Going to learn from our mistakes. The past few mistakes that we have been making. We're going to take home this win. Period. We need it. We need all the wins we can get right now.
It did during your game last week against London. Did Moses go out with an injury?
He did.
Okay, so I think DJ is going to be hungry this weekend. I think if he has a good game, 100 yards, help keep it balanced, then you guys minimize the mistakes on offense. I think you guys can pull off the win in Las Vegas. But Las Vegas is no joke, as we all know. So it should be a close one. I'm going to give it to you guys this week, but you got to be careful on the turnovers.
Indeed. Kill you every time. All right. Well, we are moving on to my fourth and goal interview. So everybody, please stay tuned. Wait.
Oh, not head coach. OC.
All right, SFL Nation, and welcome back to my fourth and goal interview. Today, I have a fantastic guest that I have been meaning to have on my show for seasons. He is Mr. Greg Soto. He is the offensive coordinator and wide receiver for the Lone Star Glory. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Finally doing this. Like I said before the interview, this has been seasons in the making for me to show up to your show. So glad to be here.
Glad to have you.
Thanks. Sorry, I've been standing you up for 3-4 seasons now.
I mean, I figured today is the moment that we were supposed to get together to do this. A lot of things happen. You've had a lot of trials and tribulations. especially with, well, we're going to talk about that, but I'm just glad you're here right now. Okay.
All right, cool.
Let's get started with the good stuff. So tell us about yourself. What is your age, your hometown, interesting fact about yourself, and then your favorite NFL team. Don't say the wrong one, man. Don't say the wrong one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's going to be hard about my favorite NFL team, you know, with the hat that I have. So I am 46. I am Cuban. I was born in Isle of Pines, Cuba, which is now Isle of Youth. You know, came here when I was 3.5 years old. Lived in Miami for a little bit underneath a bridge until I had family come and pick us up, and lived in Miami for a little bit. Moved to Naples. So I'm originally from Naples, Florida, Southwest Florida. So that's really it about kind of me. You know, I'm married. I have 2 great kids. Started early, married my high school sweetheart. So we got a 26-year-old and a 17-year-old. So very proud of them. Our boy is in England right now. He's studying abroad, getting his master's degree in motorsports engineering. So that'll be cool. Maybe you'll be seeing him one day. We'll all be seeing him one day in either F1 or F2 as an engineer. So that's his thing. And our daughter, you know, she's amazing. She's about to she actually graduated high school early. We're just waiting for her to walk now in June. And I got a couple of things. This is one of them. I'll be heading down your way actually in July. We're moving actually to Georgia to help her out. Yeah, to help her out. She got accepted to SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design.
Yes.
She's going for photography and pre and post production, film and TV. So we're very excited about that, and that's actually why we're here in Indiana. That's where we live now. We've been here for 7 years, and we moved up here to help our son go to Purdue. He went to Purdue, and he got and he graduated from there. So that's one thing. So the craziness right now is, you know, with the league and doing the stuff that we got to do, and then also thinking about moving, buying a house. We're going down to the Savannah Hilton Head area is where we're going to be heading here in July. And a fun fact, crazy fact that nobody probably knows about in the SFL while I've been here for 4 years. Okay, crazy fact. I was born with 6 fingers. Yeah. It's part of my family heritage. Yeah, I was born with 6 fingers, 6 toes. That is late breaking. I don't think anybody knows that, actually. So late breaking stuff is happening here on Ashley's show today. I'm moving. So yeah, that's a crazy, interesting fact. It comes from my mom's side of the family. And of course, being from Cuba, it's like the doctor's down there like, no big deal. You know, he's not going to get bullied or picked on or anything like that. Just leave him. He's going to be really different.
My gosh, I actually had my first time to see that on someone. And I thought it was cool. I didn't notice at first.
And it's hard to notice on mine too, because unless you're really paying attention to it, it's called polydactyly. Unless you're paying attention to it, you really don't notice. And from years of hiding it and being, you know, when I was younger, being ashamed of it and stuff like that, and having a crazy childhood in and out of school because of it, just being different. And I've learned to hide it very well. But yeah, I mean, I don't do it anymore. I got to a point where I just don't care.
It's more to
I thought I was cool regardless.
Exactly. That made you even more cooler, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a crazy, interesting fact that I don't think anybody in the league knows. I don't think I've ever talked about it.
Oh man. Well, I'm honored that you shared that with me. And as I was
well, there you go.
As I was saying, it just means more of you to love. That's all, you know?
Oh yeah.
A little extra.
I don't need the shampoo, but I need extra body wash and soap for my extra parts.
Hey, necessary. You had to make up for it somehow.
Yeah, I know, right?
So tell me, Greg, have you ever played sports before?
Yeah, I did. When I was younger, I played baseball and I played soccer. Always wanted to play football, but I had an overbearing Cuban mom that didn't want her son getting hurt. So I played baseball and soccer, and it's weird. I never actually really got hurt until I got to high school playing soccer. So I had to take off 2 years of playing soccer, and then after high school, I played a little bit of semi-pro soccer as well down in Florida. But other than that, that's it. Then I got into coaching, high school. I started with Pop Warner football because my son got to play football. I didn't want him to feel left out like I felt left out. So I let him play whatever. So I ended up coaching soccer, baseball, and football while my son was in Pop Warner and in high school as well.
Wow. So I guess that coaching role just fit, huh? That's why you're coaching over there.
Yeah. I love coaching youth sports. I haven't done it since I've been up here in Indiana, just because my kids, they're already older. My son's not playing in high school anymore, but though he is playing lacrosse over at Oxford Brooks, where he's getting his master's degree. He is playing on their lacrosse team, and they ended up just winning the championship. They went undefeated, which is pretty cool. But I dabbled a little bit in coaching lacrosse as well. But my main thing is soccer. It's always been a thing for me. It just it's the way it started is, since I really wanted to play football, I needed to play a sport where there was going to be possibly some contact. So that's how I got into soccer. And of course, I got carded quite a bit. And then in my youth, I ended up playing goalie, because I felt that goalie is the only real thing that I could actually, if there's people right in front of me, I could basically go for the ball and attack them. So I really wanted to hit people, and I really wanted to get hit, and that was the only way that I could figure how to actually do it in every single game, is to become a goalie. I was out of my mind, Ashley. I was completely out of my mind.
You were meant to be a running back, or you were meant to be a defensive
linebacker.
A linebacker. Exactly.
Yeah. My mentality is of a linebacker. Yeah. I'm like, sometimes I really do feel like running right through a wall when I was younger. And I had a lot of aggression too, not to take it to a dark, but, because I was different, I was picked on a lot and teased and stuff like that. And I had a lot of aggression when I was younger, a lot of fights. So actually, I wish I would have played football, because I definitely would have probably either taken somebody's head or they would have taken mine off, because it was, I was ready to go. And I love football. I really do. I love college football. It's one of the things that I like a lot. Nice.
The only thing about college football that I disagree with a lot of the times, which I've heard, I'm not sure if it's true, or if I'm not sure they started yet, for them not to pay the players.
Right.
I think that as much money as these schools make off of these names, off of these likenesses, everything, they should be allotted to have something. They should be able to sell their own jerseys, or to be able to make some kind of money, because they're in school. You want them to have a sense of
worth, more than just sense of worth for themselves, and also for not just for the school. No, and I think they did it. I think they started doing it. Because I follow the Hurricanes, Miami, the University of Miami a lot. That's my favorite. I've been a longtime fan of theirs, and I've actually donated money to the sports program when I was down in Florida. But yeah, I think they're actually starting to do it now. They're starting to get some sponsorships and stuff like that. They're starting to get some deals. I know a couple of the players down there in the University of Miami have been signed for certain deals with even commercials and stuff like that too.
Nice.
So I know that it's happening. It's happening all across the country now. I think the NCAA is letting that happen. So when you have coaches making millions of dollars, and I know, look, the other side of it, I already know. Part of me is like, you know what? They're already getting a free scholarship. They're getting food, they're getting brand new shoes, they're getting clothes. But I don't know. I just think that they should be getting a little bit more than that.
Because they're
especially stars, especially all the stars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're talking over 100 and 120, 130 Division I schools across the country. You're talking about a 50, 53, 70, 60 player rosters. Not everybody gets a full ride scholarship, so they got to be able to do something. And you know what? I think I just saw a commercial talking about these student athletes. Only 2% ever make it pro. So if you take all this stuff, 2%, I'm fine with hooking them up while they're in school for 4 years, getting their degree, and they're playing a sport, because they're probably, 98% of them aren't going to continue to play that sport ever again, at a higher level. They're just not.
Totally agree.
I'm cool with that.
Totally agree. And then they have some semblance. That was the point I was going to make, and I'm so glad you brought it up, because their careers can end any given Saturday, any given Sunday, and you won't even sniff the NFL field.
Yeah, so, and what I like about it's not just football. It's just I see some ladies, some women also getting it. They're either swimmers or they're softball players, volleyball players. They're starting to get some deals, as well, which is nice.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tell me, Greg, how did you find the league in the first place? How did you find the SFL?
How did I find the league? Well, it was what, 2.5 years ago, I think. And I was scrolling through the TV, and oddly enough, and I think I've told this to Eddie, and he might not remember, but what got me intrigued is I was watching an Arizona Scorpions game. And I'm like, oh, cool, Arizona Scorpions. And, a little part of me was like, oh, cool, Scorpions. That's pretty cool. They have a team called that. And I don't know who you guys were playing. I really don't. I think you guys won that game. I should go back to the schedule and see who you guys were playing in season 14. I think it was your first season. Yeah, it was your first season. And I don't know who you were playing,
because we only won 4 games that year. So I mean,
there was how many?
We only won 4 games that season. So you think
and I think it was one of the ones that you guys won. I'll tell you right now who it was. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. I'm scrolling here through here. Who were y'all playing? I think it was when it was in 2020. It was February. I want to say it was February 22nd when you beat the Florida Storm 17-14 at home.
That was the first game of the season, right?
No, that was that was not. That was actually 1, 2, 3. No, that was actually like the 7th game of the season.
Wow.
Started in January 17th. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7th week.
Wow.
Yep. And I was like, oh, cool. And, being from Florida, I was like, oh, cool, Florida and the Arizona Scorpions, because I'm a Scorpio. I was born in November. So I'm like, oh, cool, Scorpion. And I did say, and I have told this to Eddie, I'm like, oh, it'd be kind of cool to join this thing and be an Arizona Scorpion one day. That never happened. Even when I was in the minors, I told Eddie, I'm like, man, I got 2-3 Xboxes, man. I want to learn this stuff. And he goes, get back at me, kid. I'm like, oh okay.
Yeah, you should have hit me up, Greg.
I don't want to say that exactly that's what he said, but in my mind, that's what he said.
See, Eddie be over here breaking a lot of hearts, man. Golly, we got people mad at us.
And I've told them because we've kid around before, and when somebody's like, oh, I want to learn how to scout and stuff like that, and I have multiple Xboxes. I remember Eddie goes, well, hey, DM me. I'm like, damn, that didn't work for me.
Like he got some splaining to do.
It's all good. Who knows? Maybe one day.
Hey, maybe. You never know.
Maybe one day.
But that's good. Now your first team was Chicago Wildcats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are your thoughts about joining the team initially and how everything ended?
Initially I was excited. I was like, okay, cool. Somebody, I had my spiel, because I wanted to go to a team. So I said, look, hey, I want to scout. I'm an Annapolis Navigators. I'm learning from the team. I'm learning from these people. I want to be able to scout and I want to be able to coach. And, and I did. I said, hey, I got 2 Xboxes. I'm thinking about getting the emulator. And, I work from home. I don't mind doing Sims and doing this and doing that and learning. So it was good. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't know all the rules. I didn't know all the craziness that was going on. I was just a rookie. And all I was hearing is like, hey, we'll bring you onto the team. We'll eventually make you a coach and this and that. I'm like, oh, cool. So I had to learn real quick because I was bypassing the draft by doing what I was going to do. And I had to drop my player. And then I also, at the time, I had to wait to, I believe it was week 5 of the regular season because they were full at the time. And at the time, there was that rule where, if a player misses progressions, they can be dropped from the team and then you just take over that player. And that's what happened. JC Torres at the time, he was the start, he was the number 1 wide receiver. And I guess, from what Shan had told me back then was that I guess he was just having family time. He needed family time and he wasn't going to be able to be in the league. And I said, okay, well, whatever. And at that time, I just wanted to be a coach. I felt like I was going to actually wait around for a whole year, just be a coach. And then, be whatever position. I didn't care. I honestly, I was a fullback in the minors, but I wanted to be a defensive end or defensive tackle is what I really wanted to do. But then the whole JC Torres thing happened where he needed more family time and couldn't be in the leagues. And they're like, hey, we're going to have actually a couple openings. You're already coaching. Can you go ahead and please, take care of this position for us? And I'm like, okay. I really didn't want to be a wide receiver. I'm like, okay, whatever. And they're like, no, it'll be great, man. The build's good and everything. We'll just work on it. And I'm like, okay. Did that. And then how it happened was just crazy how it ended. It was just insanity. There was some crazy stuff that was going on during the season, even after Shan, left the league in that locker room was just pure nuttiness. The only thing I can say, I'm not going to mention any names because it's just going to rehash some old stuff. And it's not even with Shan. I actually, when he came back to the league, me and him talked. And to be honest, I really don't. I mean, he did what he did and he got his punishment. I really don't have any ill will towards Shan. And sometimes I'll DM him and, I'll kid around with him. Like if Carolina loses or anything like that, I'm like, hey man, what's going on? What are you doing? You taught me better than this. But the other people that were left in there, those are really the people that probably to this day, if I ever see them in public, I'll probably have something to say to them. The only thing I can say is that I was working as hard as I could, on that offense and, turning in your offensive playbook after week 6 and having about 20 plays taken out and then 20 new plays getting put in and then submitted to the league was kind of crazy for me. And I didn't even know that was going on. Sometimes I would find out that plays were in the playbook just as you all were tuning into the game. I didn't even know.
That's
so
great.
I asked somebody else on the team, like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, well, the heads of the team, want to change certain things. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So really, I was the offensive coordinator and head coach just to say I was offensive coordinator and head coach that towards the end of the season. It wasn't really, I really wasn't. I was just on paper. So, it was kind of crazy. It was just nutty. It was just crazy. I did give certain people advice. And I think that team would have stayed around probably. But I had just had enough of certain people. And it wasn't really, it wasn't most of the team at all, really. It was just a couple of people, and they're not even in the league anymore. So it was just pure nuttiness.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm out of here. I'm out. This is too dysfunctional. This is too crazy. And as a rookie, I still didn't know everything. I still didn't know all the rules that were going on. It's, I didn't know how things were going to end up. So, and that's it. I just said, okay, well, fine. I'm just going to be a free agent. I asked for my free agency. I said, I'm not coming back to the team wherever it goes. If it comes back to Chicago or not, I'm not coming back. And I'm just going to go wherever else I can, for my following season. So that's what happened, really. That's my side of the story. Everybody has their side. I just know that I felt that I tried as much as I could as a rookie. And I really felt that in one way or another, I was sabotaged by the people that were still there, by a few people. And it was just crazy. It was just crazy. I don't think I got, they only basically gave me 6 games. The rest of the season was really not even my playbook. And, I would have people over and everything here at my house to watch the games. And I got accused of trying to bomb the team. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like, you really think I'm inviting people that have no idea who the SFL is to come over and have a watch party and purposely lose a game? I go, you're crazy. I go, some of these people, I was getting accused as a rookie of some crazy stuff, Ashley. I was like, with that compiled of the playbook being sent in, that wasn't even my playbook for the most part. I was like, I had enough. I'm like, you know what? Don't even do, you guys do your own thing. I'll be a player. I'll progress, but I'm done, So I know it shows there that I was still the head coach and offensive coordinator towards the end of the season, but I really wasn't. After week 6, I really wasn't.
Crazy. I mean,
yeah, it was nutty. It was really nutty. It was really crazy.
I'm just glad that despite all of that you went through, that you still stayed. Because
I stayed
and go through all of this. That could have been off-putting to anybody.
And it was crazy. It was a crazy year for me too. I had just lost my mom on Mother's Day that year too. On top of all that craziness, I had just lost my mom. At the time, my wife and I, we were going through a separation. It was just craziness. And I was looking at the league as a way out, to just not think of nonsense. And here I get thrown into that crap. But you know what? I made my bed. I chose to listen to Shan and his GM. And I bought in and I said, I'm going to do it. Fine. No big deal. So, I mean, I am partially to blame for it. It was my decision. And it was my decision to stay in that path and choose to go to Chicago that way instead of going through the draft. And again, I have no regrets. It is what it is. It made me realize certain things real quick. After that year, I had some friends in the league already, and they're like, "Whew, you're done with year 1." I'm like, "Man, you have no idea. I feel like I've been in this damn league for like 4 years already with all the drama and all the nonsense I've been having to put up with." And it was just nuttiness. But you know what? It happened. I made that decision. I own that part of it. Now what I know now, I would have done things differently. For sure. But I have no regrets. It happened for a reason. I'm here now. So I found LSG. Charles is an awesome owner. Dave is a good president, sorry, let me rephrase that. He's gonna get mad at that. Okay. He is an amazing, great president. And the GMs, Yogi and Albert, they're really cool too. And the team, the locker room's great. It's been, even from day one, it was night and day compared to my first year in Chicago.
Good. I mean, it's funny because I was going to ask you about that. How welcomed were you when you joined Lone Star, and even what did it feel like to become the offensive coordinator and have such responsibility over there now?
Yeah, it was crazy. The first time, I mean, it was so welcoming. I was like, and I kept on asking Charles, I'm like, is this how you guys are all the time? And he's like, yeah, this is the locker room. I'm like, man, I would tell him all the time. I was really appreciative of just being able to be in that locker room, because it was, I don't know how to explain it. It's just completely different. It was night and day. Every single person in the LSG locker room every day says something, talks something. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody doing? I mean, every single person, at least once a week to two times a week. Even the guys that work, that are out in the farm. We got a couple of guys that are farming guys, and they'll still get on the locker room once in a while, once a week or twice or three times. Especially on Tuesdays, because they got to get the progressions in. So it was very welcoming. Multiple times I'd go to Charles. I'm like, yeah, you guys are this is not real. You guys aren't like this all the time. I'll tell you what, they are though. This is now my third season. The LSG locker room's like that all the time. So we're welcoming to everybody. If you make the team, that's it. You're one of us. So
family, huh?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I get that sense of camaraderie from everybody that I've had on the show. They tell me pretty much the same thing,
Yep.
And I think that's important. It's important for retention. It's important because like you were saying, you had so much going on with you in the league and outside of the league.
Yep.
You don't know how that could have affected you mentally. I mean, it could have been one of the worst situations where you could have done something because you weren't able to handle all of that pressure. But you chose to handle it differently. You chose to move on and to forgive. And I think that is how you truly succeed. You may fail, you may have your shortcomings, but it is how you ultimately finish. Did you pick yourself up and do it again? Stephen Hacker, I actually mentioned this in the chat that, we have expansion coming up. And I was like, I would love to see a team in Tokyo, and, if I had a team, I'd probably put it in there. And I don't even know if I'd even want to even try out for a team. And he was like, so why not? I was like, because I don't think that I would be awarded a team. I just don't think so. And he was like, well, how do you know if you don't try?
Right.
I didn't have a retort for that because I didn't try,
Right. Yeah.
Thought, so you will fail if you don't. And I'm glad that you didn't. So much so that a few people said that you guys weren't going to do too well this season. I being one of them, and I'll be the first one to say that I was wrong. I did say you guys are going to go 3-9, as I told both.
It was 3-9. Actually, you're the first one on this list. Oh, it's because it's alphabetical order. My bad. Don't feel bad. We had a 2-10. Somebody said 2-10, and a couple people. Tyler Falk said 2-10, and Mighty said 2-10. So, well,
and as I was telling Bo, we was given that list, and I looked at it based on matchups, not taking into consideration that you all were adding pieces, because sometimes those pieces that you add don't really work out the way you intend them to, especially if they are rookies. they may not
Yeah.
perform. So your first season with them are kind of like helter skelter. But I see that some people took way more offense to those guesses that we were making, and I'm like, I probably won't ever do this again. Like, y'all be doing.
No, it's all good. Look, it's all good. I mean, it's like DR said, hey man, he told me, he's like, no, it wasn't personal. I'm like, no, I know it wasn't personal, but look, there was a part of me at the very beginning. I looked at those and I did say, I think I'm this time around my third season now doing the offense. I'm like, okay, I feel that I figured some things out. And part of me did say, like, do these people know who the hell I am? You got to have that little bit of swagger,
chip on your shoulder.
You got to have a little bit of like, wait a minute. Do they know who the offensive coordinator of LSG is? I'm like, well, maybe they don't know. So there was a part of me that had that mentality, and sometimes even during the week when I'm looking at the playbook and Charles and Albert and I are testing plays and doing stuff, I'll look up, I really do have it right there. I'll look up and I'll be like, okay, well, like this past week, I'm like, DR Sim, does he really know who he's talking about? I'm the offensive coordinator. I'll look at him like, and I'll be like, I'll look and I'll say that person's name. I'm like, and I'll get back over here. I'll look at my playbook and I'll be like, okay, well, time to change it up. Maybe it's time for me to show them that I figure some things out. We figure some things out. Me, Charles, James, and Albert in our scouting. Again, we're nothing without scouting. Without the scouting of our main scouting team of Freddie Trammell, James, and myself, and some stuff that Charles does on the back end, and also Albert comes in sometimes. We have Gunny look at plays sometimes. We've had Ace look at stuff. If it wasn't for scouting, really, I mean, it wouldn't function the way it does. It really wouldn't. So the coaching's there, but scouting's just, I think our scouting is elite. And sometimes I actually apologize to our scouting because they do such a good job that I should be doing a better job, from what they're scouting. So
I get what you're saying. I definitely understand that, especially if they're making the time to give you such detailed notes, to make sure they watch every game in its entirety, things that. But you also have to. I look at it like this too. When people give coaches a hard time about not winning, about not being a winning franchise, like I'd watch the hell St. Louis went through when I first got here, and I'm like, you have to take into consideration all the time that it takes to try to figure out which of these 6,000 plays these people are going to try to throw at you and what you intend to answer with. So I think if people have a better understanding as to what it actually entails, they would be least likely to go so hard on individuals that are just trying to please the other 23 members of their team. That's a heavy responsibility. And then it
is.
Right. Yeah. And so I think respect has to be had and maintained for that coaching position, because it's not easy. And for those that think it is, please try it. Go to the SFL and try to coach.
Yeah, one thing that I preach in our coaches channel is, look, we're putting place in the playbook. Really, this playbook is probability. Yeah. Is the percentage of probability. That's all we're doing. Because if you look, I mean, let's just say, okay, you need to have at least 70 plays to 150. Okay, let's say you go midway, you're at 100. Mm-hmm. In a game, all those 100 plays are not going to get called. I'd say probably, and we've looked back, I'd say there's probably maybe 30 to 40% of those plays are actually called. And I believe that's high. There was a game, I think, that we played this year that I think, we barely had the ball. We ended up winning. I think we had a total, I think of less than 20 unique plays called out of our playbook, which is crazy. So that's the thing. I think if people start thinking in a way, it is controllerless. We got to keep thinking that. We don't know exactly what plays are going to get called. So we as coaches put in the best plays that we feel can go in the playbook that will probably get called. But again, if you have a playbook of 100 and only, 40 plays get called, that's it. Most of your playbook is not getting called. So it's hard to blame the coach.
So
it's hard, and I agree, it's hard to blame the coach.
It is, especially when you're leaving everything up to AI. But I wonder, so on that scale of things, is it better to enter in less plays to increase the probability of the plays that you want getting called?
Some people have that mentality. Some people don't. I've heard some people go high. So there's a big percentage for the AI to go through plays of probability, what would be a better play. And I've heard some others go lower because then you might have more of the plays that you want to get called. But it boils down to the AI and the defense that the other team puts out there.
Okay.
So that's the thing. I've had, and I've been one of these coaches where I've thought of both ways, go high or go lower. For the same scenarios that I told you, let me go high. Let me go on a high playbook count. So the AI has more to rummage through to pick a good play for 3rd and long. If I lessen the plays, then maybe there might not be enough plays for 3rd and long. So I've battled through that. I won't tell you what I'm doing this season though, but I think I figured out a happy medium on what and how I want the game to get called. And I did. I've changed my mentality. I was going one way, and we were 3-3 this season. And then I changed the way I think. I put ego aside. And I changed the way I think, and so far we've gone 3-1 in the last 4 games. So, I'm happy how it's running. I'm happy how it's managing it, even in a crazy game like yesterday. Mm-hmm. We were 11 points down and still were able to come back and win. Yeah. I do feel that the way it's structured now, that I don't feel that we're ever out of it. So. Yeah, but it's interesting. I did say this, like I said, we're putting plays in the playbook for probabilities. That's all we're doing. We have no control over how many of those, 100 plays get called and when they get called. And we've seen it all, through all pro football, on a 3rd and 1, you go for a pass. And some people say, you could probably change the ratio, your run pass ratio and mess with it. And you can, I'm sure that can help. But again, that's only one thing, and that's it. And it's if it's the AI wants to use it and what defense comes out in that particular situation. So yeah, I've stopped blaming coaches a lot. Because it's hard. It's hard to figure out what exact plays and how many of them to put in there, to cross your fingers really, to have a play get called. And we've seen it, we've seen a play get spammed. Heck, I saw a play get spammed 4 times in a row for a particular team. And I was like, yeah, there's no way that any coach would want that. And I've seen it even happen with when I was in Chicago. I remember who was the running back back in Chicago? I remember E.T. King was the quarterback, but the running back, I don't know. But I think the running back, I think the damn play got spammed like 4 or 5 times in a row. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, I didn't want this,
Shot?
What is it?
Was it Clint Hendershot?
No, Clint Hendershot was a linebacker. I forgot who was that.
That's gonna okay, but go ahead.
Yeah, we'd have to look, but yeah, as a coach, when you see plays get spammed, it's like, oof, please throw an incomplete pass or get sacked to stop this nonsense. And again, we have no control over that, so it's all probability. That's it.
I'm glad you said that. So maybe people that watch will be a little bit more lenient when it comes to certain things,
Yeah.
So, Greg, do you want to eventually own your own team one day? With expansion.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I'm good being a coach and a player. I was thinking about just being a coach, maybe not a player. I mean, certain things ran through my head this season. Have I thought about coaching in the SFL? Yeah, I have, but it's really, sometimes it's enough with the time that I'm dedicating just to be a player and a coach. I can imagine what it is to be an owner or co-owner or even a 1% owner. It doesn't even matter. Just having that title. I think the only thing, coming back for season 19, which I've already told the team that I'm going to do. I think coach, offensive coordinator, head coach is fine with me. That any of those titles are fine with me. I am dabbling a little bit into the defense as well this season.
Okay.
And trying to understand just about all the aspects of it. But yeah, no, I'm fine with being a coach and a player. I'm good with that. That's enough responsibility. I already feel bad when we lose to tell 20 people that, like, hey, I'm sorry we sucked this week.
Yeah, I hate those conversations. I've been having
I do tell Ace, and he'll be the first one to tell you. I've always told Ace, I'm like, hey man, I am an aggressive play caller. You might throw 2 interceptions, but I feel that we're going to win the game, and he's cool with that. So
exactly.
As long as my captain and my quarterback is good with that, I'm good with it.
I don't mind throwing 7 interceptions as long as we win. They happened one.
Yeah. Yeah, we won last night, and we had 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles, and we still ended up winning. So I'm good with that. Exactly.
It's a probability. Y'all just came out on the good end of it.
And I got hurt too. Again, Ashley. Again. Am I getting the Harish treatment right now?
I was just thinking about him. You might.
2 weeks in
Harish
a row.
hasn't been hurt, so it might have moved on to you now. That's kind of
2 weeks in a row. For what was it? And both times, he's hurt. He may return. Well, hell, I didn't return last week at all. I'm like, is that some BS nonsense? The game's telling me I might return. All my teammates are like, oh, is Greg going to return? Greg going to return? The clock hits 000s and Greg's still on the sideline. Who knows doing what? And then yesterday I finally came in the third quarter. I got hurt. I think the second series for cramps. I mean, come on, cramps.
So he drank the pickle juice on the sideline and went right back out there.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy. But before I let you go, I do have a couple more questions for you. Just some fun questions. Yep. Well, actually, one more heading to the playoffs. Where do you see Lone Star in the playoffs? And do you see you guys going beyond?
Yeah, I feel that we'll make it to the playoffs. Again, I know we have a bye week coming up, and then we play San Diego at San Diego, and then we play Mexico City at home, which is nice. We've been able to split that series for the last 2 seasons. It'd be nice to continue that trend this season and split that as well, because we're a half a game up on that. So our main goal is to win the South. We feel if we win the South, we're in the playoffs. There's we've lost to a couple of teams. Anybody listening can look at our schedule. We lost to a couple of teams that I would not mind getting a second crack at them. Because the losses, are so close. I know what happened in those losses, and I think I could fix it. I feel that I can fix it on the offensive side. So yeah, I think we can get into the playoff. I feel that we can, and we will. And maybe we could do some damage. Once you get into the playoffs, to me, everybody's 0-0. So, anything could happen in the playoffs, and I would like another crack at some teams that beat us in the playoffs. So that'll be interesting. It'll be fun, and but yeah,
you never know. You might get that chance. You may. Just the way you guys are playing, the way you have that offense humming right now, you may just get your wish.
Yeah, and the defense has been doing great too.
Indeed.
They've stepped it up. Again, we kind of changed our philosophy a little bit, 4 weeks ago. We've gone 3-1 since that Baltimore loss. I'm glad I don't have any hair, because after that Baltimore loss, I probably would have pulled whatever was left out. That was a humbling loss, and again, that changed my mentality. We had a good meeting, all the coaches, and we decided to put egos aside and just like, okay, well, we got to change the way we think, and I think we're trending up. Even with our 6-4 record, I feel that the next 2 weeks, I think we should be able to take care of business, win the South, and head into the playoffs and do some damage.
All right. Sounds good. Tell me, Greg, what is considered a sport? Well, name a sport that is considered a sport currently that should not be. For me, it's curling.
Oh, I was just about to say that.
All right.
Yeah, curling. I mean, come on.
Professional ice sweepers. Why?
Geez.
Why?
I don't know. It's crazy. I slide around my my kitchen all the time. I don't. I guess you could say I slide around my kitchen all the time to go clean dishes. No, I'm kidding. No, but I don't know why that's a sport. It looks like a hobby. That's the thing too. I think, an activity that looks like an activity.
There you go. That you find on a cruise ship somewhere, or I don't know.
Like bocce ball or you know what that reminds me of? Marbles. Yeah. I used to play marbles when I was a kid. You make the circle, you have the one in the middle, you try to get in the middle, you try to bounce everybody out. That's marbles. It's a big heavyweight marble game on ice. That's what it is. That's it. But that's an activity.
Professional sweepers. I love it.
Yeah, and then they sweep. I'm like, come and curl in my kitchen. Then you could leave. You'll clean my kitchen and play at the same time. Yeah, curling that's an activity. I'm sorry. That's an activity.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know what else. I was something else that is an activity that is named a sport. I don't know. That's the first one that came to mind.
Well, if you think about it before we end, please let me know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put you on the hot seat a little bit with asking a few questions, rapid fire. So I would like for you to just answer them as quickly as possible, and just what's off the top of your head. Okay. And guys, please don't DM Greg. I have to give this disclaimer every time for every guest. But guys, please don't DM Greg asking him why he said that about you or your team. This is just fun, okay? All right.
First word that comes to mind?
Yes, the first person that comes to mind, because it's going to be people. All right.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Most active person in Lone Star's locker room. You said everybody was in there, but who's the most active?
Active, Nate Hall.
Okay. Who is the most improved person, either on offense or defense for Lone Star?
Nate Hall.
Okay. Who needs improvement on offense or defense?
Improvement. Oh, you got me on that one. Improvement.
Who needs it?
Van Lacey.
Okay.
But in a good way. Not that he's not good.
Right.
But in a good way. I wish his play was more aggressive.
Okay. And I'm sure I'm sure y'all figure out a way to work on that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who is the funniest person in your locker room?
funniest. I would say that's either going to be Charles or myself, just for pure nuttiness and crazy memes that show up. But this is in our locker room. If you were to say in our coach's channel, it's me. I mean, by far. It's me all the way. Albert's a little bit funny, some things. Albert's funny. But I would say Charles and myself and Albert. It's funny stuff. Yeah.
Who's the most serious then?
Serious. Ooh. Serious, I would say, if you had to pin us down for serious, it would probably be Yogi. Even though he likes to play around, but Yogi, yeah, I don't know. There's something about Yogi's voice when he talks, you listen.
True.
Yeah. I would say Yogi can be the most serious if he needs to be.
Okay. Name a team that's currently overrated.
DC Dragons.
Okay. Name a team that's underrated.
Underrated. Tulsa.
That has been pretty much the consensus. Since I've been asking that question in particular, I definitely agree with that. Who has the best offense in the SFL right now?
Oh, Baltimore.
Okay. Who has the best defense?
I would say even without looking at the stats, I really thought that was what I was going to pick. Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah. Even before I looked at their stats, I was like, Louisiana, I think, has the better defense.
All right. Gotcha. Who is more likely to make it to the playoffs and lose the first round, in your opinion?
Louisiana.
Okay. Who do you think is going to make it to the playoffs and surprise everybody?
Lone Star.
Okay. And finally, who will win the season 18 championship?
Lone Star.
All right. Well, you have claimed the hot seat, sir. I did kind of take out a few questions only because we're kind of running short on time, but
that's good.
You did a fantastic job for your first time on the show.
Well, I appreciate it. Oh, and late breaking news, it just happened yesterday.
Okay.
I will be also helping out in the minors this upcoming season. I just got the offensive coordinator position over at the San Jose Flight. Nice. Under Art Vandelay. So we've been wanting to do stuff together. So we talked about it briefly, and now I'm the Flight's offensive coordinator. So we've been wanting to do stuff since we've been in the league together, and we've been talking about it. It just hasn't happened. So we figured this is a way it can happen and be together, even if it's just coaching. Be together on one team. So I'm excited for that, for the San Jose Flight, for the minors. I don't know everybody in the crew. I just got put in there last night. So I'm excited to be on that and help some rookies out, and definitely give them better advice than what I did in my rookie season. Awesome.
Well, congratulations to you, Greg. That's some fantastic news. Tell me now, when you are helping out in the minors, you don't lose the position that you have in the majors? Like, you're not sacrificing your offensive?
No.
Okay.
No.
Got it. Okay. Cool beans. Good to know. But thank you so much, Greg. Oh, rookie advice. All the new rookies that we've had, 90 plus people that have joined the league so far. What is some advice you want to give them before we let you go?
Advice, go through the draft. Try to and just enjoy your minor league season. If you can help out in scouting, do that. That's how I started. Just get used to spreadsheets, get used to going back on YouTube and looking at the games, and just try to make sure you get your progressions in there. If someone's helping out with your player build, listen to them, especially if they've been in the league for a while. And yeah, it all depends on what you want to do. We speak about this all the time. It depends on how far you want to take this. If you want to do definitely the coaching aspect of it, go for it. Get into scouting, understand what plays are in there, who uses what. And just have fun, have fun. Once the middle of your minor league season happens, then start putting your name out there. Trust me, if you're playing every day, every week, and you're doing your progressions, people are going to notice. So, don't say anything stupid to an owner or a GM. Hey, in my rookie class, we had a bunch of people saying some stupid stuff on Gen Chat to owners and GMs, which was insane. So yeah, try to be polite to owners and GMs and even coaches that are in that you might want to be a player with. And just try to keep it professional, but really enjoy your time. Enjoy your time down in the minors. Have fun with it, and you'll get your time in the majors. Just have fun while you're down there.
Indeed.
Yep.
Well, Greg, thank you for your time, and I can't let you go without giving you the last word. So that could be a song, that could be a poem, or just a simple shout out. Right now, Greg, the floor is yours.
LSG playoffs. Watch out, everybody.
All right. You heard it here first, people. We're going to see if they hold true to it. I mean, they've been doing a great job already. So, all right, Greg, thank you so much. And of course, you're invited to come back on the show anytime you want to, especially if, you're going to make it to the playoffs and after. A lot of people going to have some explaining to do, huh?
I know. Well, it's all good. Maybe I'll be back in 3 seasons.
Does not take that long. All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of my 4th and Goal interviews tonight. I have Mr. Kye Ethan. He is the head coach of the Lexington Miners, as well as the GM of the Houston Hyenas, as well as old lineman over there as well. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm sitting at work in the parking lot.
I appreciate you for being here, man. I really do.
I appreciate being here too. You're a wonderful host. This is my 3rd time on this show.
So you might as well just.
And it took how long?
I can hear you.
It took forever the first time. It took forever the first time.
Okay, that was because of you, and you were like, "Oh well, I got some stuff to do, and I don't know if I want to be on camera." Yeah, I remember.
Still don't want to be on camera.
Are you still doing the role play thing that you were doing?
No, I've actually stopped after I snapped my ankle.
Ooh, I remember that. I remember you telling me that you had to stop. I didn't know if you went back to it though.
No.
For everybody that doesn't,
No.
For everybody that didn't see that episode, can you tell them what we're referring to?
Live action role play, LARP. I did foam fighting for 10 years, along with live steel and rattan.
And I thought it was so interesting to see him out there in his uniform, because he showed us some pictures, and with your beard, it was all full. Very nice, man. You were having a good time too, man. So, sorry you had to go out like that, though. But I hope that you were able to have as much fun as you wanted to while you were in that role play, things like that. But speaking of role plays, man, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
No, I'll just freeze up again.
He got me good. I thought he froze up earlier. Y'all didn't see that part, but he froze up, and I was like, "Oh man, we got to go through this again." And I'm over here trying to fix stuff, and he just Ashley. It's all what? Come on, man. He's a real jokester, this guy. But so, Kye, tell me, what are your thoughts on Houston's season so far?
We're playing amazing. We started out 1-3, and have been on a 4-game winning streak since. So it's been fun to watch. My team. I just like to make comments about throwing a Twinkie out there for myself. You know, O-lineman, maybe a cheeseburger.
You know, I thought it was noble of you to go to that O-lineman position and give someone else that spot, that chance, you know, at strong safety, because those are coveted spots, you know, and things like that. And while O-line is so important, if there was some way, I don't know, I know it would take a lot of work, but if there was some way that we could track your stats, or I know that the broadcasters have been better at giving you guys accolades in real time for the blocks that you put up, for the times that you protected your quarterback and things like that. But, you know, it's kind of a thankless job, you know, and I think that you guys deserve all the thanks in the world, especially coming from a quarterback's perspective, because I have not been sacked as many times as I could have been this year, you know, because I have such a good O-lineman, you know, O-line. So shout out to my O-line, to Sean and to Patrick and to EJ. You know, Kye, y'all are important, you know. So what was it like taking that different path? Not necessarily a step back, because it's just as important, but that different path for you.
I took it to allow new talent to come in, because I've been in the league for so long. I figured it's a fair shot for the other people to do it and not just play O-line, since nobody wants to play it. And to me, it's not about the stats. It's about watching the game with the team and having fun.
Indeed. And Kye, you've been around for a long time. I've seen you be involved in a whole lot. I mean, from when a draft comes, you're making sure that the spreadsheets are kept up to date as far as who's being drafted. You help with that. You even help with the free agency. Who is free agent? Who's retiring? You make sure we have all of that important information. From the value that you add to each team that that you're on, from being the coach or wanting to be so heavily involved in the league. So what drives you to be so heavily involved with the SFL and in every aspect that you decide to get involved in?
Want to see the league succeed, and any way I can help out is whatever I can do, whether it be small or big. I mean, I'm not big on selling myself out there. I'd rather be behind the scenes type.
I can tell, even by the change in the player, you know, in changing your player. And a lot of people give you kudos for the job that you do, especially in the minors. You are the head coach of the Lexington Miners. And tell me a little bit about that. How did you get involved with that? Like, and why did you want to coach the minors?
Well, I got involved with it with Jason Williams and Josh Williams. And they brought me on to be DC, and I was helping Josh learn defense. And then we went 4-4 that season, the first season. second season, I took a step back and was just an assistant coach, and we won the championship. The next season we went with an 8-0 season, and then Jason Williams decided to step back from coaching, so we didn't have the Adams for season 4, and I contacted Chad about being the DC for the Lexington Miners. Well, Chad had things come up with in his real life, and I ended up taking over as head coach. And yeah, I went 4-4 last season, but I still made the championship. I promise I made my team before the season even started.
I mean, that proves something. You know, you have the gumption, you have the drive to get up here, and then you make promises that you can actually keep, you know? I mean, probability, it's all about probability, of course, but, you know, you were able to figure out that in the grand scheme of things, what works. And it helped get your team to where they needed to be and where you promised them. So, that said, with expansion coming up, I know that you particularly have been going after a team for about 3 years now. Every time
this is the third expansion bid.
Exactly. So every bid that I've been paying attention, I've seen you go up for, and I've seen you lose, you know, for one reason or another. I saw
The
your
Honolulu
I
split?
saw
The Honolulu Eclipse was the first one. The Washington State Thunderbirds was the second one, and then now it's the Seattle Nemesis.
Right. Now, I've seen the Seattle Nemesis. Actually, I think I've seen all of your work. I've seen everything. I like Seattle. I like the city. I like the colors. Great color scheme, man. And I think with the experience that you have showed over the past few seasons in the head coach role and for the SFL, and even with helping and GM and other front house responsibilities on other teams, I think for me, you'd be a shoo-in. But what is something that you would want the owners to know about you and why you deserve a team? Why is that so important to you? I mean, because obviously you've been here through thick and thin. So the fact that you've been here for so long, that should, you know, help. But why should I give you a team?
Because I put in the work. I put in the work and do my best to help my team succeed, help other teams succeed. I've helped teach other coaches in the minors coaching. One of the ones I taught coaching was Jaden Swift, Tulsa's defensive coordinator. Helped him out a little bit, and I'd rather pass on knowledge than keep it. Teaching what I've learned. And isn't that what coaching's about? Teaching the next person. You want to bring in new talent?
You're absolutely right. It is about that. And it is about the work that you show, not only to the teams that you're on, but how the league reveres you. What have you done for the league itself? And you've done a lot. So, I mean, I wish you the best, man. You know, every time I see you, you have these great ideas, and you kind of let me know a little bit about where your head is as far as like, different things you're thinking about. But, I think you're a good guy. I think that you have definitely put in the work and the time it takes. And I think that it would be remiss for you not to get a team this season. I mean, it's not up to me, but if it was, I would definitely vote for you for that. But good luck to you, man. I've watched you grow, and I wish you the best.
Well, that's all I can do is just do my best.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And once you know you've done your best, then that's it. There's nothing else to give. But so tell me, what do you think about Houston's season so far? And do you guys think that you have a chance in the playoffs?
Oh yeah, I think we have a chance to make the playoffs. We got Mexico City coming up, and win game for us. That's division matchup. Mexico City did beat Lone Star, and Lone Star beat us. If we beat Mexico City, then it's going to go on the strength of victories. And then the game after that is Vancouver, which that's another must-win game.
I mean, Vancouver, you know, they won by 1 point this over the weekend, you know, so very, very close game. So that's a hard team. Y'all, Cam didn't make it easy on y'all for the last few games, did he?
But we have Josh Rowe.
You do. Damn straight. Josh Rowe's gonna get it done. And you 4 pick sixes?
Yep, which holds is the new record for the SFL. We're hoping he gets 5.
That is dope. That is so dope. And the way things are going, he might just get that, you know, especially QB not being careful with the ball. Give him the room to run. That's it. So, Hey, Josh, congratulations, man.
Everybody on our secondary has been playing really well. Our linebacking core has been there. Our defensive line, we're probably getting more pressure on the QB than we did last season. And then offense, well, they're going off. I mean, our rookie, Brad Jones, I'd like to say, is probably a strong candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. He has been going off. Y'all, when I saw that you guys had were drafting him, I was like, yep, that's gonna help. And he really has. He earned his money, you know. So what is your? I know that you want your own team. Do you have a plan in place for GMs, coaching, coaches, your front of house staff? You have any ideas about whom you want to try to recruit? Or is that kind of still kind of secret? You don't have to tell me exactly who or anything like that, but
I actually want to hold an open application for that. Give other people a chance, read over what they can do.
I respect that. So I have a few more questions before I put you on the hot seat a little bit, because I know we're kind of pressed on time, but what are your thoughts on the SFL as a whole? We have a lot of new rookies that have joined over the past couple weeks, 90. So we're now at that expansion time. We're now at the fact that you can try to get your expansion team. What do you think about that? What do you think changed in the SFL to just draw so many people in?
The product is just a great product. I mean, a lot of people tell their friends, and their friends will come in, and then they'll tell their friends. It's almost like a pyramid scheme, kind of, where you tell a friend, they tell a friend, and then they tell a friend, and it goes on and on. I can admit that's how I got into the SFL. Was my friend Ryan Michaels told me about it. I joined, and here I am still.
Still hanging on, because I know they were talking. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. I thought you were done speaking. I apologize.
I lost my train of thought a long time ago.
You was talking about Ryan Michaels bringing you in.
Yeah. Where were we again? That train already passed. Let's go on to the next stop.
No worries. All right. So tell me, Kye, name a sport that is considered a sport that should not be.
Badminton.
You said that with conviction too.
Horrible sport. Horrible sport. Why would you want to hit a bird with a net? Over a net. Wait, that's called a club. Is it a club or a racket? Either way, you're still hitting a bird.
I remember playing that when
That's animal cruelty.
Somebody need to call Peter right now, huh? Oh man, that was a good one. That was a good one. For me, it was always curling. I couldn't understand how the professional ice sweepers get a whole sport.
I love curling.
Please tell me, why is it a sport?
It is because some people got drunk and decided to slide rocks across. And when they would stop, they would just sweep the ice away, and hopefully it would fall in the hole. That's my whole idea on curling. There's a lot of alcohol involved.
Got it. I mean, it had to be some kind of explanation, and I'm so glad that you gave me your perspective on that, because that was important to you.
It's like cornhole. Great game if you're drinking.
Right. Nuts. Oh my God. Tell me, Kye.
Beer pong. Great game when you're drinking. Most of these games are created because somebody was drinking.
Okay. That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Tell me, is esports itself, should that be considered a sport?
Yes.
Why?
There's a lot of mental power put into game planning and making sure everything runs right. There's all of that into it. It's electronic sports. It's a skill that you have to have the endurance, the stamina, the thinking power, which I like sometimes. But it's a lot. I honestly think it's a sport because did you sit there all day and play like League of Legends or Call of Duty and get paid for it? I could play Call of Duty all day and get paid for it. League of Legends, not so much.
Right. That's a good point.
But they get paid for it.
They do. Very well, too. Okay. That's just been an interesting question. I've gotten all kind of answers for that, and I was just curious what were yours. But I'm going to put you on a hot seat right now, okay? So I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions that I just want you to answer as fast as you, just off the top of your head. Like, I don't want you to think about it. Why? Look at your eyes. I also need a disclaimer.
I got to think. That hurts.
No, you don't. Just say what's on your mind. That's all you gotta do. Say what's on your mind. I also got a disclaimer, guys. Please don't go in Kye's inbox talking about, or his DMs talking about, how come you say that about me or my team, things like that, or how come you didn't consider me. It's all about fun and games, okay? All right. So Kye, on the Houston Hyenas, who is the most improved player?
There you see, you're making me think. I'd have to say all of them.
All of them? Everybody improved. Okay.
Everybody improves when they do their progression.
I mean, I guess technically, that's true. That's true. So who needs work then?
This guy.
You? Needs a more pancakes or something? Like,
not. He forgot the syrup with the pancakes.
Gotcha. So that needs work. Who's the funniest person in your locker room?
The funniest person?
Mm-hmm.
Or the funniest looking? Because I'd win both of those.
Stop it. So you're the funniest person in your locker room?
Oh, I have jokes all day long, especially against Cowboys.
Oh, see, somebody gonna hear that and they're gonna be in your DMs. I tried.
That's all right. Damon is a strong, avid Cowboys fan.
Oh, I bet that's interesting. Oh, I would love to see you two go back and forth on that one. Oh man.
Oh no. Him and I die laughing so much.
I bet. I bet you do. Who's the most serious person in your locker room?
Dave. Horrible.
Okay. Who is the most talkative person in your locker room? Like, as soon as he or she is always talking. It's always talking.
Dave Burr and Sonny.
Sunny J.
Dave Burr and Sunny J.
Tell me, Kye, who's the most underrated team in the league right now?
Carolina.
Okay, good one, good one. Who's the most overrated team right now?
Really? You I'm not trying to hurt my chances here, so I'm not going to say it. Pass. Pass.
God. Yeah.
No.
You are going
overrated team.
You know what? You are going out for a team, and I don't know if they're going to be holding that against you. So what I will do is I'll let you skate on that one. But when I have you back, you will have to answer that, okay? After you get your team, then you have to answer that, okay?
Okay.
Who has the best offense in the league right now?
You want bias or non-bias?
I want your honest opinion.
Vancouver has the best offense.
Okay. Who has the best defense?
Houston.
Okay. Who has a chance to make it to the playoffs but will fall short?
Lone Star.
Okay. And who seemingly doesn't have a chance to make the playoffs but will wind up making the playoffs?
Doesn't have a chance?
As of right now,
I'm going to say Arizona.
Arizona?
Arizona. They're going to turn that ship around.
Yeah, gotta right the ship somehow, bro. We're working on it, man.
Because I know Eddie is just chomping at the bit for those wins.
He is. Actually, the whole squad, Jay, helping over there, Will Todd, everybody, they've been trying so hard, so we're gonna see. So who do you think will ultimately win the season 18 championship this year?
Louisiana.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. My son, he was asking me something. All right. That was, I believe you were the only person that actually said Louisiana. Most have been Baltimore. I've heard Lone Star. I've heard a few others. But yeah, you're the first person who said that. So we're going to see who's right, Now, thank you for flaming that hot seat for me. I did have a few extra questions, but trying to keep the show under 3 hours.
That's easy. You just cut me out.
Absolutely not. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. You've given us too much great information. And one more thing I do want you to speak on before I let you go. To the new rookies that have joined, what are some things you would like for them to know in order for them to be successful in this league?
Ask questions. We will always answer them. And if we can't answer them, we'll direct you to Deputy Commissioner Andrew Rostelli. Just don't tag him. He doesn't like being tagged.
Just the warning. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. But awesome, man. Thank you so much for taking some time out with me. You're just getting off work, and I really appreciate it. So let you go home, get you some rest. But before I let you go, you have to give me the last word. So that could be a song, that can be a poem, or that can be just a simple shout out. But right now, Kye, the floor is yours.
Let's go, Houston. We'll make this shit. We're going to make the playoffs, and we're going to keep trying to float ahead of them. Don't eat Twinkies at night. You get stomach aches and bubble gut. That's for you, Day.
Words of wisdom. Remember that, everybody. Hey, good luck the rest of the season. And I can't wait to have you back on the show again. Maybe you can come and help me with the minors. Maybe give me some input and even help host the show for the minors. Would you like that? If you're not too busy. Sure. I know you got like 1,000 hats you're wearing right now. So.
No, just one right now.
Gotcha. All right, brother. I'll see you soon.
All right.
All right. Good luck. All right, everybody, and that is it. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I really appreciate that, y'all. Special shout out. Thanks goes out to Greg Soto and Kye Ethan for being on the show. And of course, my co-host, T-Roy Gaines. Got any good words for the people before you leave?
I'll go random this time because we were talking about this before the show started.
Okay.
I know that Little Caesars pizza is cheap, right?
Right.
In terms of the cost.
Yes.
But it's some pretty damn good pizza in my opinion. I wonder, everybody, if whoever's watching this in the chat, answer in the chat for me. Discord, I probably won't be paying attention. Sorry. But would you still go for Little Caesars? Somebody give it to you?
Hell yeah.
Like, heck, I'll get it. Shoot, I'll pay for it and I'll get it. It's very good pizza for the money that you get. And I think the quality of their pizza, they could charge a little bit more if they want. But their food's good. Somebody says, hey, you want to get Little Caesars pizza? I'll be like, heck yeah, let's do it. I just want to know because I got pizza on the brain today. You can ask Ashley. I was looking hard for a item on that menu that I was hoping is still there, and thankfully it is because I do have to watch what I eat. So I'm trying to find something smaller to eat, and I found the item, so I'm gonna be eating that at work tomorrow morning or afternoon. Excuse me. I can't wait for that. But I'm saying Little Caesars pizza, it's the bomb. I don't know why people be hating on it.
Listen, it is. I mean, especially you only got a few dollars. You go up there and get you some $5 foot. I mean, a $5 foot long. Lord, that's the other $5 from Subway. I don't know if people still eat at Subway with that whole tuna fiasco, but
I do. Shoot, I don't eat tuna.
I bet you don't.
Nope.
Did they ever find out what it was?
I don't know if they did, but shoot.
But yeah, I mean that $5 pizza comes in handy. Especially think about it. You got children. There's a party. Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Go get you some pizzas. Cheap. They love it, and it's actually pretty good. I like to take those Little Caesars and put my own turkey pepperoni on it because I don't do the pork thing, but I put some turkey pepperoni on that bad boy, and I'm good to go. So I totally agree with you. It's a great product. Anybody that don't believe that is tripping.
I remember when it was around back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s before they took that like 1 or 2 years off.
Yeah.
Because I actually used to work at a Kmart, and those who remember, Kmart used to have a kitchen where they have the Little Caesars. So you can get your food from Little Caesars at Kmart. So that's like as late as 2000, 2001, if I remember. That's the last time I worked there. Their food's high quality. I take that any day of the week. I have no shame at all get me a Little Caesars pizza. I'm just saying.
I
won't feel bad at all. Huh?
I haven't thought about that in years. They used to be in the Kmart. You're right.
Yeah. Used to be in the Kmart. I remember that because I used to work in the layaway department back in 2000 and 2001. And then whenever it's lunchtime or before they close, if I work in the evenings, because there's times I actually had to work in the evenings, I always hop over to Little Caesars and get me those baby pan pizzas. I think that's what they're called. At least those lunchtime pizzas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I usually get that during my shift. So yeah, I remember Little Caesars. They're the bomb back then, and they're the bomb now. I don't know why there's some hate.
Well, you know, people just don't. You know, they give. I guess maybe they have one bad experience, and then they're just like, oh my god. I mean, I guess I was kind of like that with Domino's. Like, as soon as I had that, I was like, this is cardboard. Like, what are y'all doing?
Oh, well, we know Domino's ain't coming to you anytime soon.
I haven't. Now, granted, I will say I have not tried the new menu because of that. Perhaps I will give them a shot again, but you know, it kind of hurt my heart to spend like $30 on some pizzas that you just didn't really enjoy. You know, so
they used to have this pizza with the garlic bread type crust or the garlic flavoring crust on their pan pizzas. That was awesome. I remember that back in the day.
Yeah, well, hopefully they changed it. I mean, I guess they're making their money now. I saw they got a facelift. They trying to do little things and get people back. So hopefully it works because, you know, they lost me. Well, listen, man, this is dope. And I think, man, you should have a pizza party. One day, y'all are going to see us on this show and we're going to be eating. We're just going to just sit back and just have a nice meal while we go over everything. We already discussed that. And
then everybody's going to see why I have to be on the treadmill every day from now on because I had too much of that.
Me too. You act like I'm light. No, not at all.
I don't disrespect anyone. I only focus on me on that level of disrespect. Sorry.
No, it's all good, man. But you know, it's a good goal that you're setting. And I along with a few other people probably just should think about following suit just for health reasons. Yeah, you'll look great, you know, but I think it's more so for you to stick around a little bit longer, you know. So, but T-Roy, I know you got to go to bed, brother. So thank you so much for being on the show. Looking forward to hopefully having you on next week if you have the time. I know how your schedule can be. So, but everybody, thank you for tuning in again. Y'all, I'm looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week, y'all. But until then, y'all stay safe, treat each other well. T-Roy and Striker.